This week, there are 2 board games that have caught my attention, plus we have some new miniatures to talk about as always. And this is all brought to you by Ewan Racing. I'm Angela, you're watching Hobby Night. Now let's go ahead and get into this week's hobby news. I want to start by talking about Homeworld Fleet Command, a new board game that has absolutely caught my attention. Mostly because, well, this household is a huge fan of the Homeworld RTS games, and if you've not played them, I would highly recommend checking them out because they are gorgeous. But today we're talking about the board game that's based off of that franchise. This is going to be published by Modiphius Entertainment in collaboration with Gearbox, and is set to have a launch on GameFound, probably coinciding around the launch of Homeworld 3, which is coming from Blackbird Interactives later this year. I'm also very excited for that, but this board game really intrigues me. It is going to come with a base game, which is going to come with a bunch of miniatures in it, 101 to be precise, and there's also going to be an expansion available which adds in 100 additional miniatures. Now, you guys know me, I'm a miniatures person. I really like that plastic crack. And these ones in particular excite me because I love the ship designs in Homeworld. I don't know if you've seen them, we're probably putting up images of them. They are gorgeous and I cannot wait to get my hands on a copy of this game so that I can try my hand at painting up those miniatures and mimicking the style that you see in the RTS. I just think that's going to be really cool. I can't wait to see what the gameplay is like for this because it's supposed to be taking you through a campaign with at least 10 missions, and you're going to be playing through, I assume, the first game, which sounds honestly really cool. There's gonna be some big fleet battles, and I'm very intrigued by that because I, for one, have always been very intrigued by Blackstone Fortress, or not Blackstone Fortress,
Look over your right shoulder, woman.
Battlefleet Gothic, that's the word I was looking for, that game. And I really I've never played it, but this gives me kind of vibes of that. And I love the Homeworld setting, so I'm very, very intrigued for this, and I can't wait to find out more. I'm definitely going to be backing this one. Today's hobby episode is brought to you by Ewan Racing and their Deep Muscle Stimulator. They sent this to me after asking if it'd be something I was interested in. I said yes, because if you're anything like me, you get a lot of aches and pains while you're working at your hobby desk. You're hunched over for a long period of time, you can keep your arms in the same position for a while, things get stiff. The Deep Muscle Stimulator has completely upgraded my quality of living, honestly. I use it all the time on my arms, my back, and my legs, and it helps with not only my hobby work, but also the working out that I've been doing. And if you follow me on social media, you know that I've been doing that quite a bit. So if this is something that might interest you, if you've got some aching muscles and you want to help work those out a little bit better than not doing anything, I would highly recommend checking out Ewan Racing's Deep Muscle Stimulator and using code HOBBYNIGHT to save 20% off. Make sure to check the link below in the video description, and don't forget to use code HOBBYNIGHT to save 20% off.
Arise now, ye tarnished!
I shall, because we have another board game that I am very excited for, and this one's coming to Kickstarter from Steamforged Games. They are making an Elden Ring board game, and I'm pretty sure that when we talked about Elden Ring previously on the channel, that I think I called this out as being a huge potential for them to be doing, and lo and behold, Bandai and Steamforged are collaborating once again to bring us a brand new board game set in their new Elden Ring setting. I cannot wait to explore the lands between and all of the glorious, not goriest. I mean, some of them might be gory actually, because this is Elden Ring and there's blood and gore and guts and all sorts of things, but they're going to be glorious miniatures. I like the ones that I've seen from the Dark Souls board game, which I have not played, and I've heard very mixed reviews about, but frankly, I don't really care. I'm probably still gonna be picking this one up just because I really, really, really love the aesthetic of Elden Ring, even more so than I do Dark Souls, and I want those miniatures to paint up and then drool over, and maybe also just have sit on my shelf, because let's face it, I probably won't get to painting all of them because I have too many of a backlog to paint already, but I still want them because, like I said, plastic crack, man, it is my strongest weakness. Now, before we jump into our Warhammer news, I do want to call out that Conquest First Blood, the new 2-player starter set for Conquest Arguments of Kings, is officially out this weekend, and it looks pretty rad, so maybe check out your local game store or go to Parabellum's website and pick one up if you've been looking for an alternative war game to play. Moving into the realm of Warhammer, before we get into that sweet, sweet plastic crack, we do need to talk about some magic cards because we got a new reveal of 5 different cards coming to the Universes Beyond Commander decks that are the collaborative effort between Warhammer 40k and Magic the Gathering. And frankly, they're pretty cool looking cards. We got Marnius Calgar, who I always want to call Magnus Calgar, and I completely bork it every single time.
Heresy!
I know! It's just Magnus is a better name. But beyond that, he is a captain and hero of the Ultramarines, and he looks pretty badass, although remember, there are no heroes in the 41st millennium. We also got a look at Be'lakor, the Dark Master, Prince of Demons, and glorious, just Dark Lord himself. He looks fantastic. Nothing really more needs to be said about him. We also got Emotek, the Storm Lord, who is a Praeon of the Necrons and a master strategist. He looks pretty rad as well, and I'm actually very much looking forward to the Necron set. We also got Magus Lucia Kane, who is her card description says, a human tyrannid wizard, and I love it. That's like the perfect description. Obviously, she's Genestealer Cult. I like this card. And then the last card we got revealed was just Noise Marine. Simply a Noise Marine. Why every other of the decks got a named known character in the Chaos deck, which I'm not even sure, I guess maybe they got 2 cards because Be'lakor might be part of that. But regardless, the red deck, whatever deck that Noise Marine comes from, that's all you got. And frankly, in comparison to the rest of the cards, and this particular card art, I'm just not sold on this one. There's something lacking in the chaos magic of the Noise Marine using noise to throw back all those Necrons. And I just feel like you could have used some jagged noise, I almost said noise symbols as if that's what they're called, music notes, and have that flowing around. Where's the chaos? Where's the excess? He's a goddamn Noise Marine. Regardless of my displeasure with that reveal, we are getting these decks October 7th, which is great because I know a lot of people have been anticipating them. And afterwards, there are going to be 3 different secret layer drops where you can get a variety of other things, which I will probably not be trying to get because I know those are really hard to get your hands on. But do let me know if you're going to be trying to get them yourself. Hey, do you remember earlier this year when Games Workshop said that they were going to do a big Cities of the Empire update or a Cities of Sigmar update where we got more humans and elves and all that kind of thing, all the normal folk who run around in the mortal realms? Well, we finally have some more information coming from it, and none of it really excites me except for one small element, and that is the firearms that we're seeing in the previews of some of the weapons coming for the models. There's a lot of swords and hammers and axes, which is cool and definitely fits the feeling of Age of Sigmar already. But one of the things that I have personally felt is lacking is some of the gunpowder and more mechanical elements of the old world. And we finally have a reveal of a couple of firearms, which I think is just really exciting because honestly, my hopes for a return to the old world are pretty much dashed at this point. I just don't think it's going to happen with the somewhat flop that Total War Warhammer 3 has been, and just everything that happened with the pandemic, all of the delays, all of their scheduling changes. I just don't know if GW actually has a plan to legitimately go back into the old world. So Cities of Sigmar is really my only last grasp of hope of getting more Empire models or Bretonnian models. And these few firearms are like me grasping at straws going, please, Games Workshop, please. I just want a little bit of the Empire back. Is that so much to ask for?
Glottal Stomp?
That's his name.
Like Glottal Stomp or Stop?
I think he's a big, giant alligator who has his mouth bound, so probably Stop as in, oh God, dear God, stop eating me, please, 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 because we're in Blood Bowl. And we have a brand new star player to talk about. He's from Lustria, which is where my troll from last week is from, and if you haven't watched that video where I used my Tommy airbrush for the first time, you absolutely should, because it was pretty fun actually, and I think the troll came out really cool. But I really like this alligator. Actually, I kind of don't like him. I'm sort of mixed. Like, I love the Blood Bowl models, but the last 2 that have come out from Forge World to me have been a little lackluster, and this guy is one of them. For some reason, there's just something very, sad about him. I think it's his eyes. They're just droopy and he looks so sad. I want to unbound his mouth for him so he can just eat everyone. But he also just kind of looks like a big square of plastic, and that bothers me because I really like the Lizard Men models. They're always really cool to paint because of all of the scales. And I mean, he's a Croxagore. He should have a big open mouth. roaring at you as he tries to steal the ball from you and terrify your little goblin that might be in front of you, because for some reason I'm imagining I'm fighting orcs in this scenario. But regardless, it's a new model coming from Forge World, and you can be looking forward to it soon. All right, that has been it for this week in hobby news. We had a lot to cover, so let me know your thoughts down below. And I do want to give a huge thank you to Ewan Racing for sponsoring today's episode. Definitely make sure to check out the deep tissue muscle massager down below via the link in my description. Before I head out, I do also want to give a huge thank you to my patrons for also making it so content like this can continue to happen. Without your guys' support, we would not be doing this. So just, you guys, thank you so much. I've been Angela. Have a wonderful hobby night.